The sun hung low over the horizon as Flight PH-112, a commercial Filipino airliner, taxied down the runway at Los Angeles International Airport. Passengers settled into their seats, chatting in soft Tagalog, English, and other languages. Among them was Dr. Miguel Ramirez, a prominent Filipino scientist, heading to Manila after a groundbreaking medical conference in the U.S. Meanwhile, inside the air traffic control ATC tower, tension rose. A white police officer, Deputy Mark Sullivan, stood among the controllers. His eyes narrowed as he spotted the Filipino aircraft on the radar. His jaw clenched. Another one of them. "Always coming here, taking our resources," he muttered under his breath. A call came in from a so-called anonymous informant, a lie planted by Sullivan himself. Flight PH-112 might be carrying dangerous individuals, the voice on the other end claimed. The ATC officers exchanged nervous glances. This was a routine flight, cleared by all security protocols, but Sullivan, armed with a racist bias, seized the opportunity. "We can't take any risks. I say we order them to land for a full check," he insisted, his voice demanding authority. As Flight PH-112 climbed to 30,000 feet, Captain Antonio de la Cruz received an urgent message. "LAX control to Flight PH-112, you are ordered to return immediately." Captain Antonio frowned. "That's unusual. What's the issue?" "Potential national security threat," the voice responded. Passengers, sensing the shift in tone, exchanged worried glances. In business class, Dr. Miguel clutched his briefcase, unaware of the nightmare unfolding outside. Sullivan, now in a police chopper, contacted his allies in the tactical unit. "They're ignoring our warning. We can't take chances. We take them down." "But sir, they're not hostile. I said take them down." Without clearance from the FAA, the police tactical air unit launched a heat-seeking missile. The missile sliced through the sky, heading straight for the Filipino plane. Inside the aircraft, passengers screamed as the missile struck Engine 2, causing an explosive shockwave. The plane tilted violently, sending food trays, bags, and people flying. Oxygen masks dropped. The lights flickered. Smoke filled the cabin. Dr. Miguel clutched his seat. He knew this was no accident. "No, they shot us down," he whispered in horror. Flight PH-112 plummeted. The captain and crew fought desperately to stabilize it, but gravity won. The plane exploded on impact, sending a fireball into the night sky over the California desert. News cameras arrived too late. Debris and burning wreckage were all that remained. As the world woke up to the news, outrage erupted. Social media, international news, and global protests condemned the racist act. "This was an assassination, not an accident," shouted a Filipino senator. "They killed innocent people based on lies," a journalist cried. The U.S. government scrambled to control the damage, but it was too late. The truth had been exposed. Under immense pressure, the FBI raided Sullivan's home. The officer, once so sure of his power, now sat handcuffed, his career and reputation in ruins. "This isn't justice. They were a threat," he screamed, but the world had already judged him. As he was dragged away, cameras zoomed in on a burned Philippine passport lying in the wreckage, a haunting reminder of the innocent lives lost to hatred. Months later, the victims' families stood before a memorial built in Manila. Dr. Miguel's sister spoke, her voice breaking. "We will never forget, and we will never stop fighting for justice." The world changed that day. A movement was born. Racism in law enforcement would never be ignored again. And as the sun set, the names of the victims shone brightly against the marble, never to be erased.